Okay, hello everybody, this is Big Bang Crypto. My name is Sam and welcome to another episode. Alright guys, so a lot of things are going on and we've been talking about it before I think anybody was talking about it. I've been showing you the really big signs in the chart, bottoming tail bars, falling wedge, etc. So there are so many signs for us showing us that this is the trend reversal and it is really starting. And I think after this powerful movement for us it is clear that this is the beginning of the second wave. But now what is important? I mean, will this thing just go crazy and start this really parabolic movement and make a new high? So when we have the second wave, we make a new high. So right here we're approximately at $14,000. So a second wave means we make a higher high. And yeah, now the question is, will this just go like this up to approximately $18,000? Or will we see some sideways movement, some corrections before we really start to go parabolic? This is a question that we have to try to answer. And just to show you, to give you an idea, the last time, so I mean, when we take this movement right here and say, yeah, this was the start of this whole thing, if we make a measurement, we see that we reached the top after 85 days. 85 days, guys. So I'm really not expecting something like we just move up in, let's say, a week or so and see $18,000. I don't think it will be like this. We will have also this parts where yeah, people will be questioning if we will fall down again or continue this parabolic movement. And so it will be a combination of parabolic and sideways. Now, where are we right now? So this is very important for us to answer. And to give you an idea of what I think is the most likely scenario, we have to take a look at this rising wedge formation. In my previous video, I talked about it. I showed you that this formation tends to break downwards 60% of the times. So we have the probability to come down, but we also historically have a sign that this thing really will come down. So the situation that we have is, after months of falling and seeing this correction, this downwards trend, we've been getting really huge resistance of this downwards trend line, and now for the first time we really could break above it. And so this is the breakout point, and as you can see on the way up, we've been forming this rising wedge formation. And now, just to show you in our Discord channel, so by the way, if you didn't join our Discord channel, you should do it. Here I really try to keep you updated and tell you what is most important and the key levels. So for example, when we were right here, I've been showing you this chart, telling you, hey, we are so close to a movement, giving you the key levels. And if you just take a look at here, what I say is important levels for a bigger upwards movement today are first 8.2K, then 8.4K for the real outbreak. I mean, this is really what happened. And yeah, so I think that it really gives you an idea of how important this Discord channel is. And here, for example, I'm telling you guys, all right, look, we have here this fib circle, we're very close to it, and it's possible to find really big support when we touch it in the first place. So there I said, if we take a look at what I wrote right here, in the picture you see 8 hours, but 5 hours from now on is correct, and it really happened in that time. And here you see it. It is possible that it acts as support in the first place when we touch it, and yeah, it did. As you can see right here, we touched it and we just pumped straight away. So this way you're prepared. Now I want to show you this one right here. This is from 2015, the first wave. And as you can see there, we also had this very strong resistance level over a few weeks. And when we broke out of it, we've been forming this rising wedge at that time. And as you can see, we came down to this resistance level to see if it is support now. And as you can see, we've been testing it for some days, and after that, as you can see, this is what came out of it. So I really would be surprised if we just get parabolic now and don't come down to test this resistance level right here. And another proof for that is when we go to the futures chart right here. As you can see, I mean, here the resistance line is at a different position because this chart excludes weekend data. And as you can see, even on this chart, after breaking out of this falling channel, and we came down and tested this channel again. All right, we didn't just pump straight away. I mean, you could say, hey, smart money comes in when we break this one. No, we had this correction. We came down to see if this is support now, and then continued this movement. All right? And something else that is important on this chart right now is that on the CME futures chart, we moved above the 200 moving average, which is really important. Now we're above it, and it looks like now this is the first day that we really found support on it, but it seems not to be enough right now. All right, so I mean, you could ask yourself, why is the big money not coming in to pump and show us this parabolic movement? It's staying right now. All right, and I think the reason is that although this is the CME futures chart, we have this rising wedge as well, and we will break out downwards. So this is my most likely scenario. But just for you, now how can you know that this could break upwards and I'm wrong? Well, you just have to watch this resistance line of the rising wedge, and if we can break it, as you can see currently, or in the last days, we were not able to break this one. But I think as soon as we're able to break above this level right here, above the resistance level, so making it above $9,150, all right, so we have also to come above this white line right here, this resistance line, which is a very important one in my opinion. So if we're able to break above $9,150 to, let's say, $9,200, we might see a bigger movement. All right, but like I told you, historically, I think it is more likely to come down. So on the CME futures chart, I think we will come down to $7,500 because there we also have a gap. This is something like a self-fulfilling prophecy, so these gaps usually get filled, and the last gaps, I think, always got filled. So I think it's very likely to come down and test the 20 moving average, this red line right here, to come down and test it again. This will be at $7,600 to $7,500, so maybe a wick below it, and also testing this support level, which was a big resistance before, to test it once again and then just move away. Right? And if we go to the Coinbase chart, for example, right here, so what I think is very likely in the next hours and days is to come down and touch this or test this previous resistance to see if it is support now, and this will be at approximately $8,300. All right, $8,300 to $8,400. And when we come down, I think the first time we come down to it, we will find support and see a bounce, but we're not going to make a higher high. I think we will see a bounce, we will come up, and then we will start to fall down and come back down to this level again, test it once again, maybe have another pump, so a pump that brings us up to this support, which will then be resistance, to test it once again. So usually when you fall below a support line, you come back up to test it to see if you're able to break above it, and I think there will be a rejection and we will continue falling down, and I wouldn't be surprised if we fall back into this falling channel again, because here we have the 20 moving average. I expect a test of the 20 moving average somewhere at these areas, so at $7,800 approximately, and maybe even a little bit lower, like I said, to these levels, $7,400, and to see if this line, the orange one right here, is support. All right. In my previous video, I showed you historically it really makes sense to come down to this line right here and to test it. All right. Back in 2015, we had the very same trend line, which brought us to the second wave, and I mean, I don't have the picture right now, but just to give you an idea, I'm talking about this right here. So if you connect these wicks right here, you get a support line, which also comes up to this point right here, and then the parabolic movement starts. So this is what I expect, coming down at some point to this level. Now I want to give you a time frame for that, when the drop will start. So in my opinion, it is likely to see the drop as soon as we cross this blue Fib circle. Now these Fib circles have been very powerful, and first of all, this green one right here that you can see, the last time we crossed this green one, as you can see, a parabolic movement started, and as you can see right here, we crossed it. We just had a really nice pump. So this one is really showing us what happened back then is now happening again. But as you can see, we also have this drop. All right, and I'm not seeing this drop yet right here. So I could imagine what we've seen right now is this first pump right here, this first pump, and then we will come back down and then start the real big movement. This is what I think. So coming back down to these levels right here. So like I said, I think $7,400, $500. This is a level that I'm watching, and I think it's very likely to come down to this zone. And yeah, and so what I want to say is, as you can see right here, we're only 48 hours away from crossing this blue Fib circle. All right, 48 hours, so watch out for that. Join the Discord if you're not in already, so that I can keep you updated. 48 hours from now on, I think we will cross this blue Fib circle and then see the first part of the drop, like I just told you. And okay, and at the end of the video, I want to show you the daily exponential ribbon. So this is the daily exponential ribbon. Now what I want you to take a look at is, as you can see, when we pump, so for example right here at the beginning, we pump, we come back down and test it. The first time we really pumped above the daily exponential ribbon. Right here, we've been below it for a long time. Like here, we've been below it for a long time. And then we pumped through, and then we came back down to test it, moved sideways, then had the next pump. We came down to it, tested it. We had the next pump, came down to it, tested it, and so on and so on. All right, so every time we're above it, we come back down and test it. We're not just moving away from it. All right, this never happened to just move away from it. Yeah, so this is also a reason why I think it's very likely to come down to this level. As you can see, it is currently at $7,900. So I could imagine to come down and be inside of it, and maybe a wick below it, but coming back up very fast. So yeah. So these price regions really make sense to me, and yeah, so it's the most likely scenario for me right now. And as I told you, I don't think that we will just pump, and even if we would pump right now, we would get a big resistance at $9,500. This is a very, very strong fib circle. And this red resistance right here is also very important, as you can see at these levels. Very, very important, very strong. And this is at approximately, no, yeah, this is at $9,000. So I really could imagine to come up to these levels and find resistance at the 200 moving average on this chart, on the Coinbase chart. There, the 200 moving average is at approximately $9,000. We also have this big resistance right there. So maybe we see Bitcoin going through this resistance, going up to $9,000, and then come back down and see a big rejection. But at the moment, I don't see us going up this way. All right. And what you have to watch is if tomorrow we make a lower high. All right, so this would be for me a very important sign to see if we make a lower high tomorrow. And then, like I said, as soon as we cross this fib circle, we're coming down, guys. So this is my number one scenario. And like I said, if we're able to move above $9,150, yeah, I could imagine us to really move higher from here. And at the end of this video, guys, I have given you some really, really strong altcoins in the last videos, and I think all of them pumped really, really nice. And Litecoin, for example, a few weeks ago, before anybody was talking about it, I told you the chart is saying, hey, this thing will go up. And I found some diamonds, in my opinion. If you want to know which altcoins I prefer right now, where the charts are looking so strong, and who nobody is talking about, nobody's talking about them, then let me know in the comments if you want to know which altcoins I'm talking about. And give it a like, guys, if you think this is helpful, and join our Discord channel. Thank you all for subscribing, and yeah, I hope to see you soon, and I wish you a nice day, guys. See you soon. Bye.